All I See Is You, Dawn of the Dead and The Pianist, all coming up next on the Movie Burner blog rundown. And joining us as always is John, and we're going to delve right into this first movie review that was written by our very own senior writer Darrin Gauthier, and it's All I See Is You from 2016. John, this was directed by Mark Forster, who we all know, and was written by Sean Conway and Mark Forster as well, and it stars Blake Lively and Jason Clarke.
Yeah, I can't lie, Steve, when I looked at the writer and I seen Sean Conway, I thought it said Sean Connery for a brief moment. I was like, what? Sean Connery's writing films? What is going on there? Certainly this guy, though, he's a guy who's been involved in a couple of interesting things, including Shameless, incidentally, which was a TV series that I actually enjoyed back in the day. The British Shameless, that is, not the American Shameless. Mark Forster, we've spoke about him numerous times, Stephen. Very well-versed director, going all the way back to the mid-90s. He's directed a number of films. He actually has been in a film, incidentally. He's been in Finding Neverland, which he directed.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of great films. Sadly, judging by Darren's review, I haven't seen this one, so I can't really talk about the merits of this one, but he's put the Rotten Tomato score in there, which means I don't even have to go onto the website, so thanks for that, Darrin. He says the critics have gave it a 29% rating and the audience just 33%. That seems to marry up well with Darren's take on the film. He's gave it 3 out of 10, which is actually worse than the percentages on Rotten Tomatoes, because I think that's based off of a 5 rating scale. So that's probably equivalent to 10% in Darren's mind. Not a good film. And indeed, when you look through the man's filmography, I think this is one of his rare poor ventures. He's usually quite good across the board. Pretty excellent filmography throughout his career. But it's an interesting premise. Certainly a blind woman's relationship with her husband changes when she regains her sight and discovers disturbing details about themselves. That's always intriguing when you get that dynamic of a relationship getting fleshed out. Obviously, all's not well. It kind of reminds me of What Lies Beneath, when obviously the relationship between Harrison Ford's character, and I always forget the woman, Michelle Pfeiffer. All's not well. He's hiding a little secret. Always intriguing to explore that. I don't think this is a horror, no, sadly. It's a drama, mystery, romance, and by all accounts, it's not good. I've not seen it. I can't possibly concur or disagree with that either way.
Yeah, I think right up to probably the writing here, all the ingredients are correct, John. You've got a well-versed director in Mark Forster. You get Jason Clarke in there and Blake Lively. Also, Danny Huston's in there as well. Darrin says that he was terribly underused, along with Yvonne Strahovski, I think the name is. I'm not familiar with that actress.
Yvonne Strahovski, yeah. But
apparently both of those actors were very underused. Yeah. Darrin says in his review, John, it's not a good film. It's badly written for sure. Somewhere there is a story trying to come out, but it ends up being just odd and uninteresting. It's sometimes when you get films like that that have got so much promise, you are left feeling very disappointed and sometimes robbed of your time, you know. But I think, just looking at Darrin's review, I don't know if it was trying to be deliberately odd, try to be a bit artsy. I kind of get that from the review from Darrin, but it's just a film that on paper it should work, but it just doesn't. It's not a film I've seen. Darrin as well says that the first 45 minutes is really boring. See, for a film that's an hour and 49 minutes, that's quite a long time for a film really to try and pick up. But it certainly doesn't do that throughout the movie. Sometimes, I can put my hands up here and be honest, when I get into a movie that's that kind of duration and 45 minutes into it, I'm not feeling it. I sometimes just walk away from it. I've got to, because you just sense that it's not going anywhere. This is what Darrin says, it just, nothing really happens. And it's very odd that Mark Forster is really associated to a film like this when you see his CV as a director and a producer, John.
Yeah, well, he wrote it, so he obviously thought it was something about it. It was intriguing, it was going to connect with audiences. By all accounts, it's not connecting with the majority of audiences, although you do go into the IMDb and read some of the reviews. One particular person, Stazza Phobie's name is, or her name is, all I see are unsophisticated reviewers. So apparently it's not the film that's crap, it's all the reviewers. These people that don't get it, they're crap. And she's right.
Yeah.
What a terrible attitude. You know,
You're all wrong.
You're all wrong and I'm right. No, it's film subjective. What connects with you and you enjoy? 99% of other people may think is an utter pile of steaming shit. That's the beauty of film. You don't need to criticise people and say they're unsophisticated. That's just insulting. But like, you know, to Rotten Tomatoes, the supposed critics, the guys that get paid to do it, seems to be a similar story here, Stephen. Despite an interesting premise and a promising first act, All I See Is You ultimately fails to deliver much beyond a gradual descent into disinterest and watch checking. That kind of contradicts Darrin a little bit. He says the first part is crap, get a little bit more out of the second half. This person, James Berardinelli, I don't know who the hell Real Views is, but he's a top critic apparently. He says the first act's crap. I'm going to side with Darrin because I don't like the look of that guy's face. David Eldridge, you might be laughing at the movie by the time you reach its go for broke final shot, but the look on Lively's face is enough to fulfil the idea that loving someone is not the same as needing someone. There's other reviews where it says it descends into man bashing. I can't possibly say whether that's true one way or the other, but one thing I will say is the cast is pretty decent. Blake Lively, spoke about her on Box Office Chat, Stephen. Yeah. She's in that Simple Favour film, I think. Mm-hmm. She's a good actress. Jason Clarke, I enjoyed him in a number of films. I think he's a good actor. Doesn't get a lot of credit, but I think he's on his way to becoming a very established guy. It's going to pop up in a lot of different good films. Certainly he's well on his way. He's in First Man, and he's been in a whole host of other good films. He's going to be in Pet Sematary. Haha O'Reilly, another one that's popped up in a whole host of good films. Miguel Fernandez, don't know that guy. Was it Yvonne Strahovski you mentioned? I think she actually voiced... no, it was actually Anna O'Reilly, sorry. It voiced a character in Mass Effect 3, so I know her voice, if not her face. Yvonne Strahovski, she actually played the wife in The Predator, so she was in that film. And obviously, after that, you get Danny Huston, another fantastic actor that's been in so many good films. So even if the story is a little bit meh, or the way they've adapted it to screen and they've maybe ballsed up somewhere along in the process of filming it, it's even if that's not good, the cast is good, and I'm sure you get some decent performances in there that may redeem it for some people. Certainly, I've enjoyed a lot of Mark Foster's films, so I'd give it a shot on that basis alone, and then I'd see where it would go after that. Once I'm maybe 20 minutes in, if I don't like it, I'll turn it off, walk away. If I'm enjoying it though, and I'm one of these people that thinks it's just unsophisticated reviewers that are wrong, and the film's actually decent, then I'll continue watching it. But one way or the other, Stephen, I can't really comment anymore because I haven't seen the film. But the general consensus is it's not a good film.
I was just going to move on, John, to the next movie review. This came in from D.M. Anderson. It's Dawn of the Dead from 2004. I had a little wry smile when I saw this one coming through on the blog the other day, because it's... I'm forever saying, you know, horror movies are not my favourite cup of tea, but certainly when this one came through, it took me back to 2004, to a time when I didn't really know much about Zack Snyder, who directed this movie, and it's actually one of my favourite movies from that era. I thought the first opening 15 minutes, D.M. Anderson mentions this in his review as well. We get to hear the man comes around, Johnny Cash, and the whole sequence from start to finish. I think the first 10 minutes, it's just this family living a normal life in a normal neighbourhood, and then it all goes to pot. The young daughter is standing at the doorway in the morning, attacks the dad. She's locked out. The dad's bleeding to death on the bed. She's trying to phone, I think, an ambulance or something like that, the wife. And everything just goes to pot from there. She's got to get out the bathroom window to escape these two zombies, and it's all chaos out in the street as well. And it's a great sequence. I think it's what Zack Snyder's very good at doing. Those first 15 minutes of any of his films gets you sucked in right away. This is a total mirror opposite of that movie that Darrin reviewed, where he was waiting for 45 minutes for something to happen. This is the opposite. Zack Snyder knows how to pull the audience in and intrigue them, even in a zombie film. And it's one of those films I thoroughly enjoyed, starring Sarah Polley, Ving Rhames, Jake Weber, Ty Burrell, Kevin Zegger, Mickey Pfeiffer, and I think it's on for, I don't think it's as long as 2 hours, but it's one of those movies I think George A. Romero was one of the writers, and James Gunn as well. He wrote the screenplay for this, and it was one of those films I think at the time was getting it wasn't really getting good vibes, because when it comes to zombie films, people automatically compare them to a George A. Romero film. And I think this actually came out the same year as Shaun of the Dead as well. So there was a bit of a buzz at that time, with zombie films. And this is one of the better ones. I remember when it came out, I watched it. I think it was one of the guys I used to work with gave me a loan of it on DVD. Kind of hung back from watching it. Eventually did watch it and absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great film.
Yeah, I agree. I've not seen the original George A. Romero film from the 70s, which is also an absolute classic, but he had his own distinct way of doing zombie films. He also liked the slower, crawling type zombies, the ones that just sneaked up on you in a mass group and left you in a bit of a sticky pickle.
Yeah.
This one seemed to shock that. It done something different. I don't know if this was the first zombie film that did this, where you had the zombies having high manoeuvrability. They could run about the place, they were quick, and that just added a different element to the film, because you couldn't just run away from them and hide somewhere and just run away from them in general, not hide, because that would be a terrible idea. And that's how they
during the day as well, John. It wasn't just that they weren't just privileged to nighttime activities.
Yeah, exactly. I think most of it took place in a mall, didn't it, Stephen? A large part of it, they get stuck in a mall. They were all hiding or standing. They weren't hiding. They were dead. I don't think they hide. They were all waiting ominously outside on them. And I do recall a scene where there was a guy sniping from the rooftop, and he sniped a guy with a tremendous head of hair, an older chap. And there was a buff scene as well, and there was some horrific scenes in there, very gory, very scary in parts. Certainly I was a younger chap, so it was one of my first forays into the zombie genre. Certainly don't recall watching any prior to that. I may have seen the original Night of the Living Dead film, but it was one of my first forays into it, so it was very intriguing. I actually didn't realise Zack Snyder directed that film. There you go, only found that out tonight. And James Gunn wrote it, also prior to his whole descent into controversy. Long before it, although it would have been around about that time he was doing that. So, well, we know what he was up to. In terms of the cast as well, we just look at the cast. You touched upon them, Stephen. Ving Rhames, this guy that's well versed in this sort of genre, obviously action.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much zombie action, but certainly action. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great film back in the day. I do recall it. The opening 10 minutes was incredible, the way it did descend into madness. It just shows you how close society is, civilised Western society is, to descending into madness. It's like the Joker, what he says in The Dark Knight, when the chips are down, these people will eat you or something like that, and it's true. And you see it with that amazing sequence as well, Johnny Cash's, when the man comes around. That sequence is amazing, with all the news organisations all reporting on it and going down one by one. And it just perfectly shows you that descent. That's what I loved about The Walking Dead in its original early days. And it was amazing when you seen just the descent into madness, the descent into chaos with the zombies taking over. It wasn't like it is now. It's become more about human on human action, and you've lost that edge off of the zombies because they're so well versed and equipped at taking them down. I like the fact that this was fresh. These people were still learning how to deal with them because they'd never experienced any brushes with zombies before. And that scene with the little daughters wrecking the joint at the start as well. And then also the dad turns very quickly. That was another thing, Stephen, the way how quickly they turned. And there wasn't much hanging around, even in The Walking Dead. It takes them quite a while. Mm-hmm. Some people turn quick, some turn a lot later. But in this, they turned very quickly. All in all, though, I thought it was a great film. Beautifully shot film, as you'd expect from a Zack Snyder effort. Interesting story, obviously. There's a scene, I believe, when they break out and there's spikes in the tyres. I don't know if I'm thinking about another film, but that was epic. And in all in all, I did enjoy that. Midwestern shopping mall with zombies. What more do you want in life, man? Come on.
I think the quick turn from being normal to infected, I think it inspired films like World War Z.
Yeah.
You actually see a scene in that where the Brad Pitt character's actually timing how long it takes for them to turn, because it's an important piece of information. If you're in that situation, you want to know how long you've got before these things turn into these flesh-eating maniacs. But D.M. Anderson just finishes up his review by saying, from his perspective, that George A. Romero might be considered the founder of Sunshine, creator of Hydrox Cookies, only to be ripped off by the likes of Zack Snyder and James Gunn, turning an already great product into something even better. I would agree with that. I think they've took the concept and sort of upped the ante in this. I think this is possibly more scarier than the original movie. But I don't know if that's down to probably the effects of the day were a lot better, more convincing. But I liked it. I liked the pacing of it. And as I said, that opening intro got me right away. It pulled me right in, and it's a film that I've went back to a few times since I first saw it back in 2004, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, just again, I think that just stems down to the preference, Stephen, really, whether it's scarier than the original, not the fact that they're quicker moving. Some people like the slower zombies. There's merits to that preference, and then other people will prefer the fast moving because obviously they can get around much quicker and do a lot of damage. Certainly when they're punching the windscreen, again, that opening scene where the dad's chasing her and then he turns his attention to the woman out in the lawn and starts mauling her instead. That was a great moment for me because I love gore. But the final thing I'll say is you actually look at the box office performance from 2004, obviously inflation, but just $102 million it grossed worldwide off of a $26 million budget. That just shows you how much the feet are going and the experience in the cinema, how much cinema has grown in the last decade or so.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous the money that films are making now and studios are making. It's $1 billion films are just a regular occurrence now. Back then that would have been unheard of. Out with Titanic. Yeah,
we'll move on to our final movie, John, of this edition of Movie Burner Blog Rundown, and it's one that you reviewed from 2002. It's The Pianist, directed by Roman Polanski, and stars the likes of Adrian Brody, Frank Finlay, Emilia Fox. The list goes on of well-known faces there, John. I will have to put my hands up here. I've not seen this movie. Don't know why. But the premise of this movie is it's a Polish Jewish musician struggles to survive the destruction of the Warsaw Ghetto of World War II.
Yes. First time I've seen it as well, Stephen, so I can't lie. I'd always known it was a fantastic film. Also, it got nominated for 6-7 Oscars. It won a good amount as well. Adrian Brody won an Oscar. I think it won Best Picture. Should have won Best Screenplay. I don't know exactly what it did and didn't win, but an absolutely phenomenal experience watching this film. I thought it was outstanding. Some people would say it's a little bit far-fetched, but I can assure you it isn't. This is based on the actual book of Władysław Szpilman, the man that was experiencing it. So if you say it's a little bit far-fetched, you're kind of besmirching his memory and his take on events. He lived it, and the guy knows what he's talking about. And what a harrowing experience it is watching it. It's horrendous. There's some very graphic moments. Obviously, the one that stands out in my mind would be the moment with the disabled old Jewish chap. He was also sitting in a wheelchair. The Nazis turn up, raid the apartment block. Władysław and his family, it's in the middle of the ghetto. I think it's in Warsaw. And they go up the stairs and they also tell all of the family to stand up. The old boy can't stand up because he's disabled. He's sat in a wheelchair, and they pick him up and throw him right off the top ledge of the veranda down onto his death. Then the rest of them go down, they tell them to run, they shoot them down. So there's just, the film is littered with moments like that where you get to see just the atrocities that were committed first hand through this guy's eyes. He gets moved about, he ends up in the Jewish ghetto. His family get taken away to the camps. I think it's Treblinka they get taken to. He gets spared by one of these rat Jewish figures that was helping the Gestapo and the SS out. Jewish chaps that were helping them send their fellow people away to gas chambers and stuff like that. He knew one of them. He spared him. So he went into hiding, ended up working in labour, buildings and stuff like that. And it just shows you him. He escapes, and he breaks out thanks to one of the Polish underground, Jewish underground resistance guys. And it shows you him moving about from apartment to apartment and just evading capture. And then eventually it just descends into absolute madness. The 3/4 of the way in, half the way in, when his contacts get down, he ends up having to just survive for himself, and it's harrowing watching it. You end up feeling for the guy because he's just the situation he's in. It's incredibly directed. I know Roman Polanski's a bit of a dodgy figure. Some of the things he's got up to, he's kind of been convicted of rape, but he's on the run. I don't know what the setup is, but I don't really care about that when it comes to his actual art that he's produced. This is a phenomenal film, phenomenally directed, amazing screenplay. Just the way it shows you the atrocities that were committed on this group of people. on a more human scale. When you think of World War II and the massive global scale it was, just the human factor gets lost. You're talking 6 million, 20 million people dying. And this does a great job of getting down into the first perspective view of one chap. I think he was one of 20 people, one of 20 Jews that survived in Warsaw. So it does a magnificent job of showing you this guy's perspective and all the events that also took place. And you see some of the more memorable things that happened around about Warsaw, the uprising of the Jewish people and the ghetto, the Warsaw uprising in general, trying to fight off the Nazis. You see them throwing them back time and again. Just the hope gets totally crushed out of the guy, and then just when he's survived throughout it all, you think he's going to get to the end of the conflict. You hear news reports of the Russians pushing him back. He ends up stumbling across a German officer, William Hosenfeld, played by Thomas Kretschmann, and you think this is it, he's dead. And after everything he's been through, he's going to cop it. But there's a great moment in that, a great line where Hosenfeld asks him, "What did you do?" And he says, ich was Pianist. I thought that was a great moment because that's clearly him thinking to himself, I'm dead now. And when he's saying it, I was. So that was amazing. Just the directing, incredible. The acting, incredible. Just the key theme of music throughout it keeps him grounded despite all the horrors he's witnessing throughout the whole film. The piano and the music, and even a moment with a cello where one of his friends is helping him. That's just that theme of music keeping him grounded throughout the whole thing to his life he had and keeping them in reality. That was great. Even just the way at the start as well, final thing I'll say, the way at the start it focuses on his family, and that really gets you connected to them and their plight and just the way they're ripped away, and that immediately you follow this guy through and you can't help but empathise with his situation and be connected to him all the way through. So amazing storytelling, amazing character development throughout, an incredible film.
Yeah, John, that's it was a great review as well. I thoroughly enjoyed that, especially when you're looking at it with fresh eyes. If you've not seen the movie, it really does it pulls you in, and I think your description of the events and your experience was spot on. Also, the director, as you said, we don't really want to get right into the situation with Roman Polanski, but I would imagine this would have been really close to his heart, this story in regards to his family. This would have been something that was really hitting a few raw nerves as well, with his family having experienced the war. He's obviously from Poland himself, and I did read some notes that said that he did meet a man during the production of this movie that had helped the Polanski family survive the war. And just getting back to Adrien Brody as well, John, he became the youngest person to date to win an Academy Award for Best Actor at the age of 29. That's phenomenal. I know we were talking about this prior to coming on, and 29. You would think that was quite an older age for someone to win an Academy Award for Best Actor, but when you think about it, it's not. You're 29, you should know. So that itself is an incredible achievement. This was certainly the movie although I have not seen it, it really put the name Adrien Brody to the forefront and made him a household name in my book anyway. But that just wraps up this week's episode of the Movie Burner Blog Rundown. We'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we will be back tomorrow with the Force Friday show.
Remember guys, if you enjoyed that latest episode, then do hit that like button, comment below, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. If you want to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Movie Burner Entertainment, then we can be found on Twitter and Facebook at Movie Burners. You can also listen to us on Google Play and iTunes at the Movie Burner Podcast. And last but not least, if you want to access all the latest written reviews and the occasional article, then that can be found on our website at movieburnerintertainment.org. Until next time, goodbye.